This is Plant-Based Briefing, Why We Do Not Recommend the Carnivore Diet by Dr. Shireen Kassam at plantbasedhealthprofessionals.com. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. This is the curated content plant-based podcast where I narrate a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living written by experts with their permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. And I'm pleased to have permission from Plant-Based Health Professionals UK to share their wonderful content. So now let's get to today's Plant-Based Briefing. Why We Do Not Recommend the Carnivore Diet by Dr. Shireen Kassam, founder and director of Plant-Based Health Professionals UK at plantbasedhealthprofessionals.com. The carnivore diet, which consists exclusively of animal-based foods, has gained popularity in recent years. While some proponents claim it offers numerous health benefits, many of these claims lack scientific backing. Here are 10 key reasons why we do not recommend the carnivore diet. 1. Lack of fiber is detrimental to health. The carnivore diet eliminates all plant-based foods, meaning it provides zero fiber. Fiber is essential for gut microbiome diversity, supporting beneficial bacteria and reducing the risk of digestive disorders such as constipation, diverticulitis, and colorectal cancer. In addition, the consumption of fiber is associated with a reduction in risk of a number of common chronic conditions, including type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and dementia. 2. Increased risk of heart disease. A diet high in animal foods results in an increased intake of saturated fat and dietary cholesterol. This in turn leads to an increased risk of atherosclerotic cardiovascular diseases such as coronary artery disease or heart disease and stroke through the elevation of cholesterol levels in the body, specifically apolipoprotein B containing molecules such as LDL cholesterol. 3. Deficiency of essential nutrients. Excluding plant foods leads to deficiencies in key micronutrients, including but not limited to vitamin C, which is important for immune function, magnesium, essential for muscle and nerve function, folate, critical for DNA synthesis, red blood cell production, and preventing neural tube defects, potassium, vital for blood pressure regulation, nerve signaling, and muscle contractions, and phytonutrients and antioxidants, which reduce inflammation and cellular stress and protect against chronic diseases. 4. Increased cancer risk from processed and red meats. The World Health Organization classifies processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen and red meat as a Group 2A probable carcinogen due to the association with higher rates of colorectal cancer. Several factors may contribute to this risk. Carcinogenic compounds such as heterocyclic amines or HCAs and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons or PAHs form when meat is cooked at high temperatures. Processed meats also expose consumers to nitrites and nitrates, while red meat increases heme iron intake, which may promote cancer development. 5. No evidence it is superior for weight loss. Proponents claim the carnivore diet is ideal for weight loss, but any diet that leads to a caloric deficit will result in weight loss. Studies suggest very low carbohydrate, high protein diets help with satiety, but long-term sustainability and adherence is difficult, and weight loss is usually not maintained. Weight loss with very low carbohydrate or ketogenic diets are often associated with loss of muscle mass, and there are concerns about elevations in LDL cholesterol levels. 6. Increased risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Although some individuals claim a carnivore diet improves insulin sensitivity, studies show that excessive red meat and processed meat consumption is associated with a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. The absence of fiber, increased intake of saturated fat, and heme iron all contribute to insulin resistance, which may also worsen conditions such as PCOS. In fact, diets with low or no meat consumption are consistently associated with a lower risk of type 2 diabetes. 7. Lack of scientific studies supporting long-term safety. There are no long-term studies proving the safety or benefits of the carnivore diet. Most evidence comes from short-term anecdotes or small uncontrolled studies. In contrast, decades of research support plant-rich diets like the Mediterranean and DASH diets, as well as exclusively plant-based diets for long-term health. 8. Can lead to mental health issues. The gut and brain are closely connected, and the lack of prebiotic fiber from plant foods can negatively impact mental health. Studies suggest low-fiber, high-fat diets may increase inflammation and contribute to anxiety and depression, in part due to adverse impacts on the gut microbiome. 9. Not evolutionarily consistent. Despite claims that humans evolved to eat a meat-only diet, anthropological evidence suggests early humans were omnivores, consuming a diverse diet of meat, plants, nuts, and seeds. Many of the longest living populations today, for example in the blue zones, follow plant-rich diets rather than carnivorous ones. And number 10, terrible for environmental health. Animal agriculture is a key driver of greenhouse gas emissions, creating more than half of all emissions from the farming sector. Not only that, animal agriculture is the leading cause of land use change and biodiversity loss, while also contributing significantly to air, land, and water pollution, antibiotic-resistant infections, and the generation of new infectious threats. It is clear from an enormous amount of scientific data that to meet our nature and climate targets, we have to move away from farming animals towards a plant-based food system. A fully plant-based diet has only a quarter of the impact on the environment that a typical omnivorous diet, and so any shift we make towards eating more plants will be better for the planet. Final verdict: the carnivore diet is nutritionally unbalanced, unsustainable, and potentially harmful in the long run. While short-term benefits may come from eliminating processed foods, there are far healthier ways to achieve health goals without sacrificing essential nutrients. You just listened to Why We Do Not Recommend the Carnivore Diet by Dr. Shireen Kassam at plantbasedhealthprofessionals.com. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. I've done a number of other episodes on carnivore diet and keto diet, and I will link some of those in the show notes, including 1036, Beef Tallow for Health, a political commercial farce, 1029 and 1030, high-protein diets are popular, but they certainly aren't sustainable, 900, how did the carnivore diet become so popular, 899, the carnivore diet, what does the evidence say, 701, keto diets and diabetes, 480, is keto an effective cancer-fighting diet, and 231, why you should say no to the keto diet. So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.